everyone, welcome to the latest 6-string supplies guitar wiring video. Thankfully it's just a quick one today. I can hear you all thinking in the background. We're just going to be I'm wiring up a harness basically. I've got a guitar show tomorrow in London, and today we're going to be talking about these treble pass capacitors, aka the treble bleed mod, what it does, and more importantly, which is the reason why I'm filming, is how to install it. So what is it? So now basically it's a 0.001 orange drop capacitor with a 150k resistor wired as well. You can just see that. Now what this does basically, it's very noticeable on the Telecaster, less so on a Strat, but still. When you roll back your volume control, you lose a lot of the high-end frequencies, and say you roll back down to 5, your tone can start to sound a bit muddy and fuzzy. That's because the high-end frequencies are bled to ground. As you roll back the volume, the resistance increases. Some people like that. I personally don't mind it. But I think it's fair to say that a lot of people do like to try and maintain a clean, well-rounded volume sweep, excuse me. So by installing one of these, basically, when this is installed on the input and the output of the volume control, it only passes the high-end frequencies, which means that as you roll back your volume, you get a nice all-rounded sweep, and you maintain the high-end frequencies. So it's a little bit like, don't quote me on this because it's not literal obviously, it's a little bit like turning down the volume of your amp, but from your guitar control. Like the output still remains the same. You know what I mean anyway. Okay. A lot of people argue about what this is called, treble bleed, treble pass capacitor. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Technically it's a treble pass capacitor because it allows the treble to pass through. But then that's obviously also known as the treble bleed mod, because once it's installed it reduces the amount of treble that's bled to ground. So we're just going to be putting that in very quickly now. The beauty of this mod is, I wouldn't even call it a mod to be honest, £3. You can get these for £3, £4, £5 depending where you get them from, and it's the easiest mod ever to install. Fender will charge an absolute premium to have these in their guitars, and there's a Fender video I saw on Facebook feed the other day, and they're banging on about the treble bleed. £3. DIY. If you ever need to DIY anything, do that. Okay, so all we're doing now, this is a standard Strat harness, no pickups obviously, because this is going into a pretty wide kit. But where we put it in on the input and the output of the volume control. So that's these two lugs here. So all we're going to do is heat up those two solder joints and just force the treble bleed capacitor in. Now, just to show you what I've done here, I've got some yellow tubing on, simply because you don't want these, the naked ends there obviously to come into touch with the back of the pot, thereby grounding it. So we're going to have it up at an angle like that. So I'm just going to dive in here. Heat this joint up, hopefully. Right, that's nicely in. Just going to hold that in place quickly. And again for the outputs. Oh, excuse me. There you go. It really is as easy as that. So just say I've got it at an angle there because I don't want the, even though they're covered, well one of them is anyway, you don't want the leads coming to touch the contact with the back of the pot, because that will just ground it and render it useless. Now what that does now, as you roll about your volume when you're plugged in obviously, you will notice a difference. Like I say, I'd say it's a lot more effective on a Telecaster. but we put it in our pre-wired kits as standard really for telly and Strat. We also put it on the precision base. It's very, very cheap and effective mod, so I recommend you go out there and try it yourselves. Any questions, just ask, of course. Thanks again for watching. Any comments or questions, obviously get in touch, and we'll see you next time.